buckle up, because it's going to be a long ride. It's going to be a wild ride. Nobody cares, but we're going to tell you anyways. This is Popcorn Chats. I just took the fucking bong rip of my life, bitch, and I'm ready to party and record.
Alrighty.
Oh my god. I have a sweaty hands problem.
No, that sounds
what
like a
it
problem.
is? This bong is leaking, and I don't know where from. That's fucking disgusting.
That is so nasty.
Okay. Cute. Just bought that. Alright, anyways.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Popcorn Chats. I'm McKay.
And I'm Katie.
Welcome to the first episode of the new year on Popcorn Chats. Whoop whoop. And we're starting it off with covering a new movie that came out at the tail end of last year. Actually, I think just only a week or something before the end of the year. We're going to be talking about Glass Onion, a Knives Out story, written and directed by Rian Johnson.
Yes.
Starring a whole crap ton of people.
Yes, an ensemble cast. Have to say that I like the ensemble cast from the original Knives Out better. However, this was great. I love Mia Kate Hudson. She's great.
I know. I think cast-wise, I liked both, but I did like Knives Out a little bit better, but I still did enjoy this movie. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, but first,
We must
check in. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine. It's Wednesday? I mean, at least it's a short work week coming back from work, but if you can't tell, if you're watching on YouTube, you can tell that I'm in a different location. I'm at my parents' house dog sitting because they are on vacation and I have the kitties here with me. So it's just been kind of stressful because their dog and the kitties don't not like each other. They just don't like each other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's already just been a lot back at work this week, but whatever. EDs what EDs, and I'm excited to record. Yeah, how about you?
I'm good. I am back in LA after the holidays. It's lovely to be back. I got kind of teary-eyed when the plane touched down here just because for one thing it took me a really long time to get home because of all the cancellations and everything. My 2 flights on Southwest got canceled. That was fucking tragic. I had to drive all the way to Minneapolis and then get on a plane from there to Santa Ana and then Uber from Santa Ana to my apartment. Very expensive, very fucking annoying. I literally, Corinne was about to drive me across the country. It was crazy. But anyways.
That's insane.
Yeah, but I did get a little teary-eyed when I stepped out and smelled the LA smoggy air, which I know sounds weird, but I think I love it so much because I've never hidden who I am here. The first time I came to LA, I was out of the closet and everything. So I've just always been authentic here. And I think when I go, or the most triggering place for me to go is Iowa, because that's where I went to college when I was deep in the closet. Fully knew I was gay, but was trying to not be, and it's just triggering for me to go back to those places because it reminds me of repression and all that stuff. But it just felt good to come back to LA and be so happy about it, even though I was so sad to leave my family and my girlfriend and my besties McKay. I'm trying to convince everybody in my life to move here, and it's not going well. I've only convinced my girlfriend, and I mean that's no small feat. No, I mean that was hard enough to do. Okay.
Yeah.
I put in a lot of man hours for that.
I'm just pissed that the weather ruined our wine and lunch day. I was looking forward to that so much.
But here's the thing. We're going to make up for it when you come here because we're going to go to Malibu and do a fucking wine tour, bitch.
Malibu.
We're going to do a Malibu day.
And a Disney day.
Yeah. I had a dream about the Disney day with us.
Did you?
Yeah. We were just going on Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean over and over again.
Love that.
I'm trying to get litty titty.
Okay. That's fine. As long as you're up early in the morning and you're ready to stay until park close, we're making the most of our money.
Oh my God. Sounds good. Do they have little nap stations there? I haven't been to Disney since I was a child.
You just have a coffee and keep walking.
There's no nap stations. They have everything there. They don't have a nap station. Are you serious?
Not when you're paying like $170 a day to be there. You're not gonna nap.
I want a nap. What if I want a nap? I need to nap to keep going. Wow, that really surprises me.
That's called Starbucks and Joffrey's if you have other substances to keep you awake.
I don't know about that. All right. Well, we'll cross that fucking bridge when we come to it. But
yeah,
I'm a bitch.
I didn't realize that you were flying Southwest over. So when all those cancellations were happening, that you were one of those. That's fucking wild.
It was literally the worst day of my entire life. Not really, but I
just stressful.
I was super stressed. I got a text that actually the night that you guys were all over at Corinne's apartment, I got a text at like midnight that one of my flights was canceled. And then the next morning, like nothing was showing up. And I turned on the news and like saw everything. And then we were looking on the other airlines like United, Delta, literally JetBlue, fucking anything. Tickets were like $3K, $5K, $7K. Like every time we refreshed it, it was going up and up and up. And I got so overwhelmed because I was at Corinne's and I was on the phone with my parents. And then I was like, can I call you guys back? And I just hung up and I just like broke down and I was like, what are we gonna do? Like, what am I gonna do? I have to go to work. Like, I can't get fired. Like, I can't take sick time because I need it for when I need to go back home to get Corinne to bring her out to LA. Like, I was just panicking. Here's how much my girlfriend loves me. She was like, let's just drive. We're gonna drive. Just pack your shit. I'll pack mine. We'll drive. I'll fly back. And we were going to do it. Like, my dad...
Like, get a rental car?
Yeah, my dad rented us a car. We went to the airport to pick it up. Corinne, like, had all her stuff packed. Like, we were going to be driving that fucking southern route again for the second time. In 2022. They didn't have any more rental cars. They were all gone. And then I was freaking out, panicking even more. They found like a reasonably priced, which it wasn't fucking reasonably priced. It was like $1,300. And
for a one way.
One way. And I had to drive 4 hours to Minneapolis and then take an Uber from where my plane landed to LA, which was like an hour-long Uber. So it was like $85.
That is so... I feel like that's
Southwest,
illegal for airlines to like jack up their prices when something else happens like that.
It is illegal, so we're fighting it. We're getting a refund. Don't even worry about it. Yeah, it was horrible, but I'm just glad to be back.
Trudge. Nothing can just be easy.
Quick before we jump into, have you seen White Noise yet?
What is that?
The new Adam Driver movie on Netflix.
Oh my God, no, I have not. No, but one of my friends did already send me a TikTok with some like thirsty moments. Not like even thirsty moments. It's literally just him like sitting there and like looking. But no, I haven't watched it yet. Have you watched it yet?
I have.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a good time. I think I gave it, 3 stars on Letterboxd, which I'm doing a Letterboxd now. I'm tracking every single film I watched this year. Glass Onion isn't on it because I watched Glass Onion last year, but every time I watch a movie, I'll be adding it to my Letterboxd. So follow me on Letterboxd. My @ is your girl KT Laglass.
I thought I had that. I have some sort of movie app. All right. Shall we jump in?
Let's fucking do it.
Standout star, standout scene?
Yeah. Who's your standout star?
That was kind of tricky. I kind of have 3, so I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit because Benoit Blanc just like kind of carries the film. So I feel like I have to shout him out. Absolutely love him. I think his accent's great. I think he's like fully immersed in this character. He's got like charm, wit, he's funny, but he's kind of like elusive a little bit at times. Like he's just everything that I love in a character. And then also I'm just gonna say Janelle Monáe because she plays 2 different characters, so yeah, just her. Love her. And also mostly I love the 2 of them's like dynamic together. I think they worked really well with each other, and like 2 actors that I would look at and be like, you're kind of like an odd pairing, but they work really well together. Right. And then lastly, Birdie, played by Kate Hudson. She's just kind of like the influencer that you love to hate and like everything that like is wrong with people on the internet, but is like kind of funny to watch in like this satire kind of way. So I really loved her, and I just love Kate Hudson. So
yeah, the sweatshop thing when she thought a sweatshop meant like sweatpants.
Like, bitch.
Oh, yeah. Tragic.
What about you?
My standout star would definitely be Daniel Craig and his portrayal of Benoit Blanc. I did also really love Janelle Monáe and her character, like, when it's revealed. After it was revealed that it's the sister, and, like, the sisters couldn't be more opposites of each other, and that whole backstory, I, like, appreciated that character a lot more, and was really intrigued, like you said, by their dynamic. So that was super fun to watch. I agree
Yeah,
with
at the
you.
beginning, I was kind of like, she's kind of like flopping.
Yeah,
But
I was like, what's going on? And then when she was like stumbling around, I was like, what? It intrigued me because I was like, I feel like something is going to be revealed about what's going on with her. And then it was. And I was like, ooh. Standout scene. I really
yeah,
liked when Duke dies and they're all freaking out and just like the different reactions of all of them. And then just like a shot that I really liked was when Janelle Monáe's character gets shot and then he's like crying and they all kind of like appear around him. I think that shot is really cool.
I think my standout scene was when they were all first arriving at like the boat dock and they're all kind of seeing each other for the first time in a long time and you're kind of learning like you already had seen some of them on the phone together, but you're seeing them interact in person. You're also seeing Benoit Blanc like have his first introduction into this group and also how all of them like with their masks and like the different masks that everyone have are very like fitting to their character. And I think that was a scene that when I rewatched it, I realized that more about all of their masks and everything and how they kind of like fit each person's character and like when you have the full picture of each of the people.
Yeah, for me, I feel like I have yet to see a film that needs to be 2 hours long. Like there's just always something that I feel could have been cut. The beginning was kind of disorienting, like with the puzzles, and then like I hate COVID stuff in film, so I wasn't a huge fan.
See, normally I do too, and this was the first movie where I didn't feel like trapped by it or where because it wasn't like overly like, oh, COVID and hand washing and quarantine and distancing, you know, it was more just like, hey, we're all like it's just almost a piece of their costumes. Because like Birdie has that see-through bedazzled netting because she doesn't give a fuck about COVID. She's throwing parties, you know, she doesn't care. And then you have oh, what was his character's name? Lionel. You have the scientist who's wearing like the KN95 mask, like the best one. You have Catherine Hahn who's wearing like a beige ass politician one that's like ill-fitting and she won't like, I don't know, like so blah. And then you have Benoit Blanc who's got like the stylish one and you know that like he left all the medical ones for like the medical people instead. He like went out of his way to purchase one that matches his outfit because he like has that attention to detail. And then of course you got the Menemist guy and whiskey rolling up without masks even on at all. Because again, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't think it's going on. Yeah,
so
I guess when you put it that way, that's good. That is very good.
Because it wasn't like ever talked about. It was just like, oh, they're just wearing masks.
Right.
And even like with the party that like Birdie was having, I think it was maybe mentioned like once that it was like, she said like, oh, they're in my bubble. But like again, it wasn't really like, oh, hey, you're not supposed to be having parties because the government's advising you only see like whatever. It was just like everyone can see that and know exactly what the state of the world is in that they're in.
Yeah.
So they didn't need to explain it at all. Yeah. It's not like that one movie with Anne Hathaway, I think, that came out during the pandemic about the pandemic that my parents, we didn't even make it like 20 minutes into the movie because we were like, we straight up don't want to be watching this because it was like all about the pandemic and like these people robbing houses because they were like broke or something. I don't know.
I was more turned off by like whatever they were spraying into their mouths.
What was that?
That was stupid. I also initially my thought on the masks was like they're having them all arrive in masks because they're going to be wearing masks throughout the entire film because they've shot it during COVID, but then that ended up not being the case. So then I was like, what the fuck was the point of all of that? But I do like what it adds. Like you said, it's showing the type of people that these people are because you can tell a lot about a person by like the type of mask that they're wearing, honestly. You know what? I changed my opinion about that.
I miss my calling to be a lawyer.
I'm just excited about this new character for Daniel Craig. I was never super into James Bond or anything, but I can't even wrap my head around like being one iconic character in Hollywood, but then like if you're able to achieve a second one now where he's signed on for a third movie to do with Rian Johnson and like continue on this character, what a freaking baller. I just think that's so cool. And I hope he's very proud of himself.
I do love that it is like so two opposite characters that he's getting to play. And I'm really enjoying him as Benoit Blanc. Like, I think he's just such a fun character that even in this movie where like I don't think I necessarily loved the side, like I loved Birdie a lot. Like, I think she definitely is like the standout, like fun character to watch. But the rest of them were just kind of like, you know, they're fine. For him to really like carry that with all of these other people who I kind of find unlikable is really good, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, the first Knives Out film did a really good job of making a group of unlikable people still enjoyable to watch and intriguing to watch. Catherine Hahn's character was super underutilized, or like I just felt like that character wasn't utilizing her full like comedy spectrum.
Yeah, she was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like she just like her clothes were all like beige and neutral, and like I get it, she's a politician, so like I get the choices, but she was just like boring and beige and blah and just kind of there.
Yeah, and she's so funny in Bad Moms and stuff. Like I wish she could have been a little bit more of a dynamic character.
Well, and even her and Kate Hudson were in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days together, and it's like they have such good chemistry in that movie. Not that they didn't have chemistry in this one, it's just that they didn't really get to play off of each other in this one.
Yeah, they barely interacted.
And same with Leslie Odom Jr.'s character. I don't remember what his name was, but same with him. I felt like he was just kind of like existing in the movie. Like I didn't really care about him one way or another. He wasn't very dynamic. Same with the Menemist guy. Like again, you're just kind of there. Same with Whiskey. Like you're just kind of there. Like truly it was like Birdie, Benoit, Miles, who I didn't even fucking like, but that's fine because you're like not supposed to like him. And then Janelle Monáe is like just kind of existing when she's supposed to be playing, what was the first one? It's not Sam. Andy. And then Helen is the sister. So like she's more dynamic as Helen, obviously, but again, that's only like the last half of the movie that you get to see her as that character. Where I think in the first one, everyone is a caricature of themselves, you know? Like they have a lot bigger personalities in the first movie.
Definitely. Yeah, and they're all very distinct, and I feel like their stake in like the plot and the situation is a lot more fleshed out when the murder happens. I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in a minute, so I just felt more clear on that one, like the motives for each character. Whereas in this one, I was having a hard time keeping track of not who was who, but why they were connected to Miles and why they equally like needed him alive and might want him dead. Which I think that's super cool that Rian Johnson like is able to write something like this where each character like has a reason for killing him, but then also like has a reason for defending him till the bitter end. So I think that's super interesting.
I actually felt like that was easy to keep track of because like Andy had that little notebook, so it was almost like, because then she wrote out like motive and what was the opportunity or something, and like going through it and like thinking of who killed her sister. But in the same vein of that, she's finding out why people would have beef with Miles and kind of like uncovering that, oh, Whiskey isn't cheating on Big Guy with Miles. She's in fact using Miles with Menemist's blessing to try to get stuff for the both of them. And I felt like then that was kind of nice that it almost went like down the line, like checklist of everyone's deals. What I didn't necessarily love was that like, what are the stakes besides this woman who's already dead? Like she's already dead. It's not like time's running out. Like, yeah, we want to find out who killed her, but then what? Like she's already dead. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like the stakes were as high in this one as they were in the first one. But I mean, I guess the first one was a murder too. I don't know. I just felt like this one wasn't as like exciting.
Yeah,
as the first one.
I just don't understand like how someone could write something like this. I think it's so impressive being able to like craft a whodunit and like essentially work backwards from the ending to the beginning and make all these twists and turns. I think it's super interesting. One thing I wanted to bring up and ask you was, did you notice him put the glass down?
I noticed him hand it to, or like switch them around. Yes. And so because I was like, I knew that something was going to happen in that room. Like you could just kind of feel that like we were going to get a huge moment there. So I was watching that scene like a hawk. So I saw him switch like those cups around. So then as soon as it happened, I was like, oh my God, he's responsible. But then when Miles says like, oh, he must have like grabbed the wrong cup or whatever. So then it made me be like, oh, maybe I like did miss that. He just told all of us what he wanted us to believe. So yes, I did. Did you?
No. I didn't see that. Shelby said she did notice it. We watched it separately. And she said that kind of like ruined it for her because she saw and then she's like, oh, it's him. So, and I mean, it doesn't really come as a big shock that it's Miles because he's a shady motherfucker. But I don't know how I feel about that either, because in the first one you could have maybe noticed. No, you couldn't have like noticed a switch. There was nothing like that in the first one.
But also I feel like there were enough misdirects that it kept it from being like, oh, cut and close. Like even in that scene, I remember Catherine Hahn and Minimus like bump into each other.
Yeah,
and then when we found out that his gun was missing, I was like, she has his gun. She didn't have the gun. But again, that bump was not accidental. Like that had to be purposeful. And Ryan Johnson was like, oh, let's make sure to give enough false things in there. Yeah. And also like Daryl just is a whole ass random character in there. Like he's kind of a misdirect too, because you think he's going to end up having some bigger role or some sort of plot in it. And no, he's truly just this random dude. Like, and he says like, just ignore me, but you don't in the back of your head as you're watching this movie. You're like, does he have something to do with it? No, Daryl's quite literally just chilling.
Yeah. It's a place to stay.
Yeah, pretty much. Poor Peg. Poor Peg, Birdie's assistant. her having to deal with that party and then the box and then Birdie's tweeting and and the thing that she said though, when she was like, no, but when she's trying to talk Birdie out from making that statement and like taking the blame of being like, no, we'll half apologize, go silent, and then come back like a few months later or something. You see that happen quite literally all the time.
Yeah, there's teams of people like strategizing shit like that. That's why it's like public apologies are always so fucking eye roll because it's like nuts. Crafted this shit. Yeah.
So I'm just like, Peg deserves a raise because Peg isn't making crap, but I mean I guess she's getting to go on these fun vacations, but not for the amount of stress that she has on her job.
Right. Also, I feel like the whole resume thing, if you work for a problematic person, which like is not hard to do at this point, like especially in Hollywood, you still gotta get out of there because you can do better.
Don't go down with the sinking ship if it's not yours.
Plus, I know people who work for Ellen and they still find work.
Pop off. Also, something that I noticed because I watched this like back, I think I watched it literally the day that it came out. So then we were going to cover this. I kind of put it on in the background just for like a refresher, just kind of take notes too, because I obviously didn't the first time around. Mm-hmm. And something that, again, I noticed on the rewatch was Miles as a whole, I don't like because there's nothing about his character that I would like, but especially you see how he just has such a lack of caring and like respect towards priceless pieces of history, because when they arrive on the boat and he's playing the guitar and Birdie jumps off and she's like, oh, you're serenading me with the guitar, and he says, was it like John Lennon or something, like he references, and he's like, oh yeah, playing it on the guitar that John wrote it on. Mm-hmm. And she's like, stop it, and he literally throws it to the side and in the sand. So I'm like, you have this like very famous guitar that you're just throwing aside. Mm-hmm. And then what are you doing with the Mona Lisa in your house? Granted, you have all these security measures around it, but you're running your whole entire compound, as you say, on this chemical substance that has not been tested and could quite literally blow up at any moment. And you're prepared to let that happen to the Mona Lisa? He's so careless. And I think that also is relevant to how he feels about the environment. Like, he doesn't care if this has any environmental impacts because it's going to make him a bunch of money, and just kind of shows that he's just a very careless and reckless person, and reckless with the people in his life too. You see how he's like ruined relationships with all of them. So he's just overall a flop.
Yeah, and he's so obsessed with his legacy, and I love the irony of when he's like, I want to be like the Mona Lisa, where you just know what people are talking about when you say the name or whatever, and like uttered in the same breath as Mona Lisa. Now every time somebody says Mona Lisa, Miles's name is going to be brought up because he fucking destroyed it, and that's fucking funny. Yeah.
You're trash.
You're literally trash. He reminded me of the guy in Don't Look Up that we hated too. The like Elon Musk fucking Jeff Bezos type character in that.
Dude, so
similar
much like
vibes.
that.
Similar vibes. Just like white man who thinks he's Jesus Christ's second coming.
So yeah, while I didn't like his character, I at least thought that he was written well and very consistently too, like very over the top. He has like the robot dog, the chakra stuff, like every single thing about his character works, but in like the worst way possible, because he just is grating to anyone who has 3 brain cells.
Yeah, he's like the modern day supervillain, where it's just like this person who does not deserve to have this much money has all the money in the fucking world, and he's literally stealing ideas from women of color and like exploiting people as most billionaires, as all billionaires do to become billionaires, people are exploited in order for that to happen. The way he like makes up fucking words is so stupid.
Yeah.
And I love how Benoit just like rips him a new one at the end where he's just like, you are a fucking dumbass. And we all should have saw this coming way earlier. And I'm pissed that we didn't.
Yeah. And even how he said like you had to hire Gillian Flynn to write your murder game because you couldn't even like do that yourself.
Right. What a
like
flop.
you don't have an original idea in your head. And then like the lights out loaded gun. He's like, once again, I gave you that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like Andy gave you your idea for your company. Like every single thing has come from another person, and yet you're the one to reap all the benefits.
Yeah. Exploitation at its finest. Elon Musk literally did not do, and he's not a scientist. Like he didn't invent Tesla like everybody thinks he did. He just put
Owns
money.
the company.
Yeah. They said he's based off of Elon Musk, so.
He's also so disgusting to look at.
Yeah, worm vibes.
So, I have a question for you. So, we already know that Rian Johnson is going to be making a third Knives Out movie. Benoit Blanc will be returning. Thank God. Also, Rian Johnson, love you. Lilas forever. But I want to know, so these always have ensemble casts. So, Katie, who would you, if you got to sit in the room with Rian Johnson and be like, hey, I want you to call up all these folks, who are you telling him to call up for the third Knives Out story?
Bitch. What a great question.
Right.
Thank you for it.
I was excited putting together my list.
Cute. Well, how many do I get?
I have 8.
Okay. I'll do the same. Number 1 call, first call I'm making Timothée Chalamet. I'm on a huge, I'm always in a rabbit hole of that man's, but I recently rewatched Call Me By Your Name when I was home. And my first film of this year was Hot Summer Nights, one of his early films. He's so cute in it. I am straight for him, and I love him so much. Calling him, sorry. I just like zoned out thinking about that.
No, you
bony,
go for it.
scrawny, sex on a stick. I fucking love him. I need to see Bones and all. Speaking of Bones, would love to see Lindsay Lohan, calling her up. I think she'd be a fun twist to add in. Let's see, who else would I be calling? Florence Pugh would be great. Like Rihanna, because I love her in Ocean's 8. I feel like she killed it. Who else is killing it these days? Lupita Nyong'o, bitch, would be amazing.
Oh my God. Yes.
Amazing in a murder mystery. That would be good. Except I feel like all these people would then have to play assholes, and I don't know, like, I think Lupita would be a really good villain or like character in a Knives Out ensemble, because she's like gorgeous and very like rich looking, but then she could be like bitchy somehow where we like don't want her to succeed.
Kind of like the Chris Evans of the first Knives Out movie, where they're good looking, you kind of trust them because they seem to like be kind of snarky with everyone else, like kind of be like, oh, we're not like those assholes.
Yeah.
And then turns out that she is in fact the ultimate asshole.
Yes, I love that. Zendaya, obviously. I feel like I'm picking all basic ass people.
Hey, it'd make a great movie.
Honestly, the entire Euphoria cast just being like a bunch of rich, it could be like a bunch of rich college, like sorority and frat people. So like Jacob Elordi and
can you imagine Fez in a Knives Out situation?
That'd be fucking funny. What's your list?
Okay, so first off, funny that you mentioned Euphoria because I would love to see Alexa Demi.
Yes.
in Knives Out. I think she would be so amazing. I think she would be hilarious. Adam Driver, of course. Also, I do think that would be in the realm of possibility to actually happen because him and Rian Johnson worked together on Star Wars. So I do think that he would, like, as long as that connection is still there, like Adam, he didn't kill you. He gave you the best movie of that franchise. So take your beef out with JJ. Next up, Jennifer Lawrence. Obviously, I'm going to put her in whatever. And I am dying to see her and Adam Driver interact with each other on screen. So I would love to see them. And then tagging on that, Bradley Cooper, because I love him and Jennifer Lawrence doing anything together. They've done like 4 or 5 movies together already. Would love to see them together again. And also, I feel like A Star is Born was such a new character for him that that, I'd love to see like what other kind, like could he be like a little Benoit Blanc-ish? You know, I'd love to see what else he could do if given the opportunity. Emma Darcy, Rhaenyra from House of the Dragon, would love to see them in there. And maybe play like an androgynous character or even like a non-binary character in Knives Out. I think that would be really fun and great for them. Kerry Washington, she plays Olivia Pope on Scandal.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Be obsessed to see her in this type of role. Henry Golding from Crazy Rich Asians and A Simple Favor. I just think he's hot.
Yeah, he'd be good.
And I think he would be a good character, kind of like Chris Evans again, where he like appears non-threatening, and then I think he could actually be like a shady person or like be the mastermind behind it all. For my wild card pick in there, Julie Andrews. I don't know why. I would just love to see her in there.
Queen.
And I think after seeing who was in the was that Christopher Plummer in the first one?
Yeah,
like as resident old person. Like no offense, Julie Andrews, but like kind of would like to just see her thrown in there. And also I think because I'm rewatching Bridgerton right now, so she's like top of mind. And then lastly, Troy and Belisario, Spencer from Pretty Little Liars.
Wow.
This woman needs to be back in some acting roles because she is by far the most talented actress on that show.
Yes.
More talent than anyone on that show, to be honest. And she deserves to be in more things. And I would absolutely love to see her being like a badass sleuth in this, or just who knows, maybe like she could play a flop in it too. I don't know. I just love to see her in more things outside of Pretty Little Liars. Like I felt like she kind of got typecasted in that, and like it's hard to break out after you're in a really popular TV show. And I feel like maybe, I know she's like married and has 2 kids now, so like maybe she hasn't wanted to be doing a lot, but I would really enjoy seeing her in another role.
Fucking incredible. She'd be amazing in something like this. Also, Sophie Turner would be great. Bring that girly back, because the project that she has been doing since Game of Thrones, I'm not about it. Fire the agent, start anew.
Yeah. I feel like, again, I'm like, is it by choice? Like, are you having a hard time getting things outside of being like Sansa Stark? Or, because like, no, she was in X-Men. So it's like, you know, she's done other things. Like she can do other characters. But yeah, I'm like, is it your agent? Is it you? Because you're having like kids and you know, you just maybe don't want to like do as many big projects. If you want more things, you should be getting more things because you're awesome.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, Tormund from Game of Thrones would be amazing.
Yeah,
but playing like a type character like that would be so funny.
That'd be really good too. Damn, it would be fun to like cast the next one.
Well, I'll be excited to see whatever it is and what kind of story, and I'm just really excited to see whatever Rian Johnson wants to do because I will watch it.
I think it would be interesting if they did something following young people and, you know, people who, how money has like kind of plays a different role in the lives of young people now, because young people are able to make money, like a lot of money, more than they used to. So I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, I love a mystery like this, like a whodunit. It's just tried and true formula. It's always fun. It's always different. And yeah, I'm really enjoying them. So, and stylistically, like they're just fun to look at too. Like they're well-made movies.
Right. Also the fact that $1 billion is now like the standard for movies, like with...
Was that their budget?
No, but just like the direction that movies are going in, like after Avatar, the second one.
Did you see that yet?
No.
If you see it, you have to see it in theaters. It is incredible. Like
Really?
that CGI is absolutely insane. It makes the first movie look so like childish with the CGI. And like that CGI is incredible, but like you watch this now and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been like hearing mixed reviews, so maybe I'll go, maybe I won't.
I would give it like, I mean, it definitely did not need to be that long, but it was really beautiful. I would give it like a 3.75 probably.
Hell yeah. I wish you could do that on Letterboxd. You can only give like half stars.
Well, at least you can do halves. On Goodreads, where you rate books, you can't do half stars, and I hate that because I have so many times where I'm like, this was like a 3.5.
Well, guys, next week we're going to jump back into Pretty Little Liars, so we'll be doing part 2 of season 2. Tune in for that. It's going to be a great fucking time. I can't wait to get back into that show, and we're just going to keep knocking out those seasons, and also doing some award season coverage. Who knows if Michaela really likes white noise? I would be willing to cover that on here. Let us know if there's anything coming up that you guys would like us to cover. Follow us on Spotify or subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. Please just make sure to follow us on there and download the episodes too. That really helps us out. And yeah, follow us on all of our social medias. I'm making another short film that I wrote and am directing, so stay tuned for that. You can see us soon. Follow Michaela, subscribe to her YouTube channel. She's at 8,000. Let's get her to 10.
I'm hoping to hit that by like end of April, beginning of May.
Oh, that's easy. Let's do it. And then we'll all take a shot together as sisters.
I know,
brothers.
I did say that I want to go out. Like, I want to go out and celebrate when I hit that. Alrighty. Well, thanks so much for listening.
Yes, thank you guys. Have a great week. And we Lilas.
Lilas.